Howdy, y'all. Howdy, all y'all. What's up? We are in the bayou, baby. We wandered ourselves down on into the bayou. You heard me? You like that? You like it? You like that? I like it. It's cool. It's pretty. It's about to rain. We're going to have to break this episode up into chunks. It's going to be chopped and screwed. I'm trying to beat the rain. I'm not going to beat the rain. If you know me, I have like 3 hours worth of content. I'm going to try to make into 2 hours if possible. And we got a giant rainstorm coming in about an hour. So mission impossible, literally. We're going to talk until we have to stop here at this beautifully ugly. Like, I like the bayou because it's like ugly, but in like a cool way, like in a spooky, beautiful, cool way. I don't know. Something about the water, the muddy water, all this stuff, all the dead plants, all the dead leaves. You don't see kudzu everywhere. Go back and listen to, I think, episode 9. I talk about kudzu, episode 11 or something. 10, maybe. The vine that ate the South. It's like I'd rather see this like actual than like, quote unquote green living kudzu that's like actually like a plague on humanity. But what's up, y'all? We won't get too lost. It is January 21st, 2026, and that is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Thank you for your birthday wishes whenever this comes out 5 months later. However long this takes me to edit and put this out. Thank you in the future for your birthday wishes for today. But we are in Louisiana. We found our way down to the bayou, baby. We had a fun little time in Texas. We're going to talk about that. And yeah, we're going to go walk around the streets of New Orleans. New Orleans. It's not Nowlands. I was told not to say Nowlands. It's New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana. Was in Baton Rouge, been kind of meandering around these small towns, meeting people, talking to people. The craziest, funniest accents. Not even just here in Louisiana, but in Texas as well. Small town Texas accents were hilarious. So we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get into. And so before we get any more lost, any more confused here, any more bored by my intro, my incoherent ramblings of an intro, we are in Tickfaw State Park, north of New Orleans. And the hat debate has been settled. First of all, before we get lost in the sauce, hat debate settled. I have found my cowboy hat. Do you like it? After traveling the country and like talking to people and being like, where do I get a cowboy hat? How do I earn a cowboy hat? Man, that's a sick cowboy hat. I've been complimenting people's cowboy hats all over this country. I want one of my own, but I want to feel like I earned it. I want to be a man. I don't want to be a poser. I don't want to just wear the cowboy hat. I want to own. I want to be the cowboy, So like I went to try to do the eating steak challenge. I lied to myself. I tried to fool myself into thinking I'd be able to do that and then say I earned a cowboy hat that way. Tried to go ride a horse, didn't end up doing it. Kind of, I got a little lazy, kind of chickened out, kind of like, there's not enough time. Didn't do it. So I was kind of giving up on the whole, earning a cowboy hat. And then I met this dude, shout out, Randy. I'm not going to dox your location. 20-year-old college student, Randy, shout out. He's now a new listener, follower of the stream. Sick at a 20-year-old dude, like Chad, dude. like 6'3", just like strong, athletic, smart, charismatic, like confident young man named Randy. What a sick name for like a 20-year-old, like a Gen Z guy. So this is what he told me. He's like, I was raised on a cotton plantation outside of Tahoka. a small little cotton plantation outside of Tahoka, riding horses my whole life. And he told me, so I'm gonna just take this as gospel. This is cowboy hat gospel. We have a real kid born and raised on a farm outside of Tahoka. Based young man, gets it, smart, Christian, like godly young man, hardworking kid, going to school for a good reason, good cause, good purpose. Tells me it's not about the hat. It's not about what it looks like, the material. We were talking about like beaver skin or like what kind of like material to get, you know. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all. What shape, what it looks like, what it's made out of, the look, how you get it, where you buy it. All that matters is what you do with it. And he was like, every cowboy hat is just the hat that helps you produce fruit. You know, two Christian bros just like vibing, being like, dude, a cowboy hat is just literally anything a man wears to get the job done that it needs to accomplish. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, we settled the debate. Travel in this country, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, New Mexico, even a little bit in Texas. Just debate. No firm, solid, like rite of passage is defined to like earn your cowboy hat, or even what is a cowboy hat. And now we have the debate settled. And on top of that, he goes, hey man, and I got a cowboy hat for you. Do you want it? And I was joking. I was like, dude, I cannot. I keep getting gifts. I keep having conversations with people on this trip. And then they're like, dude, hold on. I got a gift for you. My car is starting to just be full of like hats and ponchos and like trinkets I don't need. It's like my car is like, I'm trying to get home to Nashville with like every time I open my doors, I kid you not, I open a door that's not my own driver's seat door and stuff is just falling out of it because I keep getting so many gifts from people. Which is awesome. It's a good problem to have. Thank you for the gifts. It just is funny. It's like, dude, where am I going to put this? What am I going to do with this? However, this man's gift, he goes to his truck. He goes to his giant, huge, again, based Chad, Gen Z, Randy from Tahoka, Texas. Goes to his truck, comes out and gives me this guy. Literally this guy. You see that? Rafter C. He said he got it for Christmas. He's like, I will never wear this hat. He put it in his truck. He said his mom got him this hat for Christmas because it's hats that he kind of wears. These, I guess this is like a rodeo bull rider hat is what he was saying. The style of it, the like cut of it or whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna be riding any bulls, man, but I'm gonna be wearing Randy's hat in honor and appreciation of him keeping it real with me and settling the debate with me and gifting me for my journeys a real man's hat, a cowboy hat. So yes, debate settled, conclusion reached, the goal has been accomplished. We now have our cowboy hat officially, and we will wear it in honor of you, Randy. And it sounds like a joke saying that out. For some reason, Randy's one of those names where it's like, dude, that's a fake name. Like when he told me it, I was like, dude, what? I was like, is that short for anything? And then we were joking because I was like, yeah, it's like Randall, right? He's like, no, like literally his name, his birth certificate name is Randy. Like, dude, sick. You're my best friend now. But whatever. Shout out Randy. I want to rush and get to everything, but that's going to be impossible. We're going to need about 2 hours at least. You know me. And we got rain coming. I don't know if you can hear this or see this or feel it. You can see it on the water, right? If the glasses are actually working. You can see this, right? We're trying to beat the rain. We're doing it in the rain. We're no rain delays here. We're gonna try to limit the rain delays here, but no promises. We're gonna have to put a big pin in this. We are gonna have to do a rain delay after all. Put a pin in all this. Rain delay. It's gonna start to rain here. I might have to just record again tomorrow. Pick back up. Thanks for coming to my intro to my TED Talk. This is pretty cool though, right? We are here in New Orleans. Not Nowlands. We are in New Orleans. This is, I kid you not, the 4th attempt at recording this episode. It is currently the winter storm 2026 of January. I was supposed to be on my way by now back to Nashville. I keep stalling because I'm trying not to drive during this winter storm. But we're here. It's New Orleans. It's beautiful. I love it here. I might move here. And however, it's cold. It's rainy. We aren't getting snow, but it is a little chilly. It is a little rainy. We're dealing with it. We like it. But we're here. This is beautiful. This is City Park. Lovely, man. I've been finding all these like nice little hidden gems in New Orleans, and the more people I meet, the more questions I ask, the more tips, the more suggestions I get, the more hidden gems across the city I get to find, you know? So I'm starting to kind of even think about maybe like stalling, you know? Maybe I'll just keep making excuses to stay here. And this year-long journey will just continue. But no, I don't know how much of the other episodes I'm going to be able to chop and screw and edit, so I'm just going to retell a bunch of stories, which is not fun and not cool. When you tell a bunch of cool, fun, funny stories, now you have to like awkwardly retell them. But we'll start by talking about the hat. Let's talk about the hat. Do you wear a cowboy hat? Do you earn a cowboy hat? Et cetera, et cetera. We've been on a mission to get to the bottom of this. And I've kind of flirted with this idea of, for real, getting a cowboy hat, but also the hilarious joke idea we talked about on a previous episode of like, wouldn't it just be funny if I went back to Tennessee as like cowboy man, as like this journey changed my life and I am now cowboy hat man. So we've been joking about it. We've been talking about it. I've been bringing it up a lot to a lot of people along this journey all over the Western states, you know. And finally, I'm talking to this young man. Shout out Randy. I won't dox what school you go to, but I was walking around a college campus in Texas, meet this young man. We start talking. I actually complimented a hat he had on. We start talking. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to get a cowboy hat. Do you know where to get one? That opened up the giant conversation. And Randy broke it down to me. First of all, 20-year-old kid named Randy. That's sick. I was like, is that short for Randall? He's like, nah, dude, straight up. His name on his birth certificate is straight up Randy. I was like, that's like the most Texas awesome thing I've ever heard in my life. Randy, dude. See, now I'm like trying to retell the story and I'm forgetting all the good parts of it. He was like, yeah, man, I was born and raised on a cotton plantation in Tahoka. Riding trucks, riding horses, living a rancher life, you know? Based, sick. Reason I say that, I got, you know, he's got the street cred. He can back it up. He might be 20 years old, but he can back this up when he tells me, when he informs me about who deserves a cowboy hat and who doesn't, and what is a cowboy hat and what is not. And his answer was just simply like, whatever hat produces fruit, whatever hat gets the job done. Like a real cowboy doesn't concern him. A real lion, a real lion straight up doesn't concern himself with the opinions of sheep, you know? A real Christian man doesn't concern himself with the opinions of cowards and fakers, you know? Starting to rain again. Is this a sign that this episode needs to not happen? Bro, this might be a sign that this episode needs to just not happen. This is another rain delay. We are now, though, at least underneath this fake Tartarian temple. We're going to keep recording. We're going to try to keep recording. We're going to finish this episode. We're going to suffer through this episode together. Are we at the point where we just give up and we don't even talk about what happened in Texas? It's cold. It's rainy. This is, I kid you not, this is going to be the 5th attempt at me recording this. Do we just stop? Do we just end this? No, we don't. We're going to pick up where we left off. I forgot where it cut off, but I also had to rewrite my notes before because it rained on my notes and smeared them. And again, my notes are starting to smear again because it's raining again on me. Come on, man. Come on, man. Can a brother catch a break? But this is the hat. We're going to showcase my hat. Young man named Randy, I don't know how far we got in the story, tells me, son, he big brothers me, the 20-year-old kid, almost half my age, son. Listen, no, he didn't. He was cool. But he tells me, he's like, dude, like no one actually even wears like actual cowboy hats anymore. He's like, that's kind of an older thing. He's like, dude, people just wear hats that like help them work. Like whatever hat, whatever you put on your head that works, that functions, that keeps the sun out of your head, your eyes, you know, keeps the sweat off your brow as you get the job done. That's your cowboy hat. Like a cowboy hat is just the hat, whatever hat it is, whatever it looks like, material it's made out of, whatever you need to put on your head to produce fruit, like literally and spiritually, put it on your head and get the job done. And I love that. So we're not going to get too much into it. I don't even know. I don't want to, again, it's like weird trying to repeat myself. But we talked about the hat on a previous stream that is now going to be deleted. Take 1, take 2 of 5. And we actually had a good little talk. Me and myself and my phone and my trash folder on my computer had a nice little talk about how producing fruit is important and how we all need to be producing fruit and how as Christians, that's the goal. That's the mindset, whatever it takes to produce fruit. And there shouldn't really be any hindrances to that. Like your excuses, your delays, your stall tactics, your I'll put it off, you know, mindset that I'll produce fruit one day. When I get my life together, then I'll produce fruit. When I get out of debt, when I get that promotion, when I get a wife, when I insert X life event here, then I will be righteous. Then I will be godly. Then I will do what God commands me to do. Be fruitful and multiply. You know, seems important. It seems like maybe the first commandment God gave to us, be fruitful, might be important, might be something we need to be taken seriously. And I look around at Christians and I don't see fruit. I don't see anyone even attempting to be fruitful, which is crazy because with God as your source of life, producing fruit should be inevitable. It should be unstoppable. Like it should be just flowing out of you. You know what I mean? It's weird. People look at me and they're like, oh, how are you so this? How are you so that? I want to be this. I want to feel like that. I want to have those experiences, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into details. Stay tuned to all my stories and stuff. But people kind of come to me and they're like, why are you blah, blah, blah? Why is your life so blah, blah, blah? And it's like, because God, because I trust him, because I'm close to him. Why are you so happy all the time? Because God. Like, why do you work yourself out of bad situations all the time? Because God. Why are you so, yeah, you get heartbroken, you suffer loss, and you suffer all this like hardship and stuff, but like, why are you so like happy about it? Why do you come out on the other side better? It's like, do I have to tap the sign? Do I have to keep tapping the sign? It's God, it's him, it's staying close to him. In your mountain peaks and in your valleys, the good times and the bad. And some of us, it's easier one place or the other. Sometimes when you're in your bad times, it's easy to go like, I don't like God anymore. I don't trust him. I don't like what he's done with my life. I don't want anything to do with him. And sometimes it's on the mountaintop. I feel like I'm in control. I got everything figured out. I don't need God. And whichever one you are, it's usually one or the other. I don't know if it's necessarily a black and white issue on that, but usually one, like you out there, the person out there, the Christian follower, the follower of Christ out there, typically usually falls into one or the other. When you're in the valley or when you're out of the mountain peak, you're going to fall away from God. You're going to stop producing fruit because you're going to get away from the source of life that's necessary to produce fruit, right? And you're going to start going like, I'm in control. I'm a cowboy. I have a hat on. That makes me in charge. That makes me a man, Even though you're not working, you're not speaking up and doing what's right. You're not, taking accountability for your life. You're not sacrificing. You're not working hard. It's like you're not doing any of the things required to be a cowboy. You just want to put the hat on and look like you're doing it. You want to say with your mouth and, on your Facebook profile, you want to look like you're being fruitful. You want to look like the most godly man ever, obeying all of God's laws and helping so many people. And I'm so altruistic and awesome. Look at me, be godly, Like when Jesus warned the people about looking like they're fasting, look at me, I'm so holy. Look at me, I'm so righteous. I'm better than you, And that's that concept of everyone just wants to put the cowboy hat on and call themselves a man, call themselves a cowboy. But no one wants to put like the real hat on that's going to actually just help you get to work, get the job done, do the right thing, We want to look right. We don't want to be right. We want to appear righteous. We don't want to actually live righteously, like entirely and fully, And that all is just being close to God, staying close to God, choosing God, drawing near to him as your source of life. And when you do that, dude, fruit is unstoppable. It's ever flowing. You can't walk down the street without like spreading ripples of light and love of Jesus wherever you go, Big fruit, small fruit, like the fruit producing is inevitable when you're close to him. And when you're not, when you're choosing yourself or when you're rejecting him, yeah, your life's not going to be very fruitful. It might look like it. It might appear like it. Your Facebook profile might tell the world that it is. Your cowboy hat might look like you're a big, strong, tough man. But are you? And deep down that you're not. And deep down that God knows you're not. So what are you going to do about it? If Jesus is the source of your life, your top priority, your primary passion, then producing fruit is inevitable, it's unstoppable, and it's consistent. And if there's not like intense, severe, serious roadblocks being thrown at you by Satan, trying to disrupt you and distract you and stop you from producing that fruit, the weeds aren't trying to like desperately try to choke out the fruit that's being produced, you know? The birds aren't trying to frantically pick at the seeds that were spread on the ground. You know, the fruit, the vines that are growing in your life because of your righteousness, it's like Satan needs to be throwing everything at you to try to stop you, to try to lead you astray, to try to do whatever he can to stop that produce from being grown. Cut off the light, cut off the water, cut off everything possible. Can't let any more fruit be produced, right? And you, Christian man, need to be doing so much that it doesn't even matter. Your soil needs to be so good. Your watering needs to be consistent. Your light needs to be ever present. You need to be doing everything right to get the right conditions to produce fruit, righteous fruit, no matter what. No excuses. Despite what the world throws at you, despite what Satan throws at you, despite what your flesh tells you is good. We'll get into that. It's like, well, God has created you to produce fruit and to tend to gardens. So it's go time. If you love God, you will do what he created you to do. He will do what he intends for you to do. You will do what he commands you to do. And if you're not, you can LARP around as a cowboy all you want and put whatever clothes and costumes on all you want. It doesn't make you the man. It doesn't make you righteous. It doesn't make fruit for you. Your righteousness, your willingness to depend on God, to draw near to him, to be close to him, that is what will produce fruit to you, for you. And your hat, your cowboy hat, whether it be a trucker hat or a sombrero or a Stetson, whatever the hat may be, the hat doesn't make the fruit for you. You make the fruit. The hat helps you in your quest to make the fruit, you know? Use whatever you can available to you, the resources available to you, social media, technology, the economy, politics, finance, like communication skills, whatever it may be in your life, the tools around you, the technology around you, the resources in your life and in your environment. Use them all to their fullest to help you produce righteousness, to go give back out to the world, you know? And that is like a misconception because people think, and we'll kind of get into this, so don't be confused, but God does love the world. God does want you to have good things. He wants you to experience good things and have a good life. He also wants you to work. He also wants you to sacrifice and produce fruit. And then he wants you to enjoy the spoils of your labor. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have one side. You can't just assume that you're going to be fed and not put in the work. You know what I mean? You can't just assume you're going to get what you want and not have to sacrifice or surrender a little bit of yourself to get it, you know? It's just foolish. But God wants you to have good things. God so loved the world that he sent his son to die for you. And we'll stop ranting. We'll probably chop and screw all this up. I'm not making sense. The disappointing thing is I'm not making as much sense as I was the first time. Right? Isn't that frustrating? Like, man, I wish we had that first recording. But good things are accessible. You know, the world isn't just evil. It isn't just pain and suffering. Like, there are good things. God wants us to enjoy good things here. He also needs us to work. He commands us to work. He commands us to produce good fruit. He wants us to enjoy the spoils of our labor, but he also wants the labor. You know, we can't keep having this something for nothing mindset where it's like, well, I just want something, everything I want as fast and easy and cheap as possible. And if not, I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. If not, I'm going to give up. If not, I'm going to lose hope. Who cares? Life is meaningless because I didn't get what I want all the time, exactly how I want it, you know? But God wants to bless your mission. He wants to bless your harvest. But you have to be on mission. You have to be harvesting. If you're not even going to begin the process at all, what is there for God to even bless? How is God going to bless your hands to work bountifully if you're not even like moving your hands? You know, how is God going to bless your journey if you're not even willing to take the first step onward into the path that is your journey? You know, you still have to go. You still have to be fruitful and multiply. And then you will be blessed. You know, don't wait around for your blessing. Don't wait around for perfect conditions to begin crushing, to begin tending a garden, to begin being fruitful and multiplying, you know? And, you know, just the gospel itself is access. It is access to him. The gospel is, hey, there's good news. You have a bridge between you and this world and God in heaven. And his name is Jesus Christ. And faith in him will bridge that gap, will reunite you spiritually with your Lord and Savior. That is the good news. That is the gospel. Access. You now have access to your Lord and Savior here and now through the Holy Spirit inside of you, but also for eternity afterwards. For after this life, after all the fruit you've produced, you can go into heaven hearing the words, well done, my good and faithful servant. You can be welcome home into spiritual reunion with God, your Lord, your Savior, your Creator, you know? And that is, in summary, in one word, the gospel. It's access to Him. For you once were a sinner, once were destined to a life of hell here and now on this earth, and then you were going to die and suffer the consequences of an eternity separated from Him. But God, but the gospel gives you access to Him. It gives you a chance to overcome who you were, where you were, what you've done, and now re-enter into a relationship with Him, a life with Him, an eternity spent with Him in His home. You know, the gospel is access. It is, do you want to go? Yes or no? How are you going to answer that question? No, I gotta wait for that promotion. Nah, I gotta get sober first. Nah, I gotta wait for so and so and so and so to join me. Or is it like, hey, son, daughter, you now have access to me. Are you gonna take up the offer? God saying, hey, I now give you access to me, a relationship to me. Reaches out His hand and offers it to you and says, will you be obedient? Will you be humble? Will you submit? Will you reach out for your Lord and Savior in humility, with love, with compassion, with gratefulness, with thankfulness? I'm giving you access to me, says the Lord. And it's your choice. Are you going to accept it or not? Are you going to push into that access and go bear fruit because that's going to be inevitable? If that's your choice, is to go into relationship Him, into His presence, into reunion with Him, you know, you wouldn't really have to spend much time of your life stressing out about how I'm going to produce fruit or am I producing enough fruit. But when you're over here denying that access, you're rejecting that access, you're choosing the world, you're choosing yourself, you're choosing the things that you want, that you think are good, and you're distancing yourself from Him and His right ways because you want, because you think, because you want to be in control, you want to be in charge, you want to, make your own decisions, live your own life independently, then yeah, you're not going to be producing fruit, or you're going to be worried about why you're not producing fruit, or stressed out about how little fruit is being produced in my life, So long story short, ramble short, this is my new cowboy hat because this is the hat that's going to help me produce physical and spiritual fruit the most. I have other hats, but this is my favorite hat. I love this hat. Shout out Randy. Shout out to Randy for the hat and for the words of wisdom and for a nice little talk with a nice little 20-year-old Christian believing Bible bro, like a man of God, a based bro, born and raised on a farm that's like living out a gospel-led life, a fruitful life on a degenerate, disgusting college campus. He's going against the culture. He's going against the norm. He's going against his peers. He doesn't care. He's still out there just being a man of God to everyone he sees. Even me, some dumb stranger almost twice his age, asking him stupid questions and being goofy, Takes the time of day to stop, appreciate me, talk to me, inform me, give me a gift, sacrifice himself, his time, his energy, his words to me. When everything in his life should be telling him, live for yourself, seek pleasure. Everything you see on TikTok and on social media and just in his friend group, his peer group on the college campus, everything in his life is telling him, live for the world, live for yourself. Indulge, seek pleasure, avoid pain. Just, feel good all the time. Have fun. You're in college. You're only young once. You're only in college once. Go live it up. Go have fun. Make mistakes, Be rowdy. Be a womanizer, et cetera, et cetera. All the things, all the temptations you'll hear from yourself, the world, and from Satan is in this kid's ear all day. He's like a tall, handsome Chad. You don't think this guy's tempted? You don't think women are like throwing themselves at him on this college campus? And yet he, a Christian man, focused on God, close to God, with his relationship with God as his primary focus, his primary mission, his purpose in life. The inevitable result is he's just nice to people. He's kind to people. He sacrifices his time for people. He helps people out, gives them gifts, gives them advice, prays over them, you know, shakes their hand, looks them in the eyes, has compassion and care for them. That's a godly man, you know, in a dark place, in a worldly, dark, fallen, lost place. Despite all of that, despite the temptations, despite how much he could just probably throw all that away and start indulging as much as he'd like, you know, and be the envy of most kids on campus at how much pleasure he's receiving. He's choosing God and he's producing fruit. So which way, Western man? Which way? The way that leads to yourself and your own happiness, or a way that leads to something greater and beyond yourself? The way that leads to earthly enjoyment for what, 50 more years, 70 more years maybe? Or the way that leads to eternal glory, eternal purpose, eternal rest, eternal peace? To me, it seems easy, but you know. But who am I? I'm just a weirdo ranting and raving in a public park underneath a Greco-style pavilion, like an excessively ornate and fancy picnic venue. Like, you know how you go to the park and you're like, oh, we're gonna have a family picnic, and it's like some rusted like shed or something. And then you come to New Orleans and it's like Tartaria. You're like having a picnic underneath Tartaria. Which way, Western man? Taco Bell or Taco Casa? Tacos or hot dogs? Which way, Western man? Says a lot about you, which one you choose. Whataburger or In-N-Out? Which way? There are correct answers to this. There is a correct answer to that question. And it, you know, the people who say Whataburger are just childish. Like, they are just not fully developed yet people, I don't think. Like, their brains aren't fully developed, and so that's why they go, ooh, yay, Whataburger. Whataburger's better, you know? They don't enjoy the classic simplicity of just a well-crafted, high-quality burger, you know? Just simply done right. No fancies, no frills, no sourdough buns, no pepper jack cheese, and all those gross toppings and sauces and stuff. Flavor, different weird flavored shakes and stuff. Yeah, that's all for children, man. That's all for the kids. Save it for the birds. Save it for the kids. Let the kids have their fun. Take the kids to Whataburger and let them all scream with joy as they eat their Dr. Pepper flavored milkshakes. And they're like, whatever, bacon, pepper jack cheeseburgers, you know, with the buns that are so big. It's just like all they're doing is filling you up on bread, not giving you actual burger, you know. But the real men go to In-N-Out. The real men go to In-N-Out and they say, this is correct. This is nice. Fresh, actually fresh cut, fresh cooked French fries, an actual beef burger that's not full of microplastics and soy, an actual bun that's actual bread, actual lettuce, actual tomatoes. Or you can go to Whataburger and get a Happy Meal, get a kid's meal with a goofy shake and some goofy stuff, you know, because you like your fries a little crispier or something. Which way, Western man? Which way? We'll get into that. Well, stay tuned. We're gonna get into that. In-N-Out is for the fellas. It's just simply for the fellas, you know. And it is funny in Texas. It's like every single In-N-Out, no matter what, without question, there is a Whataburger within like a block. Either next door to it or like just down the street, like a block, no more than 2 blocks. And I was wondering, I'm like, dude, they're just so jealous. Like, they are just so threatened. Whataburger is so threatened that whenever an In-N-Out shows up, it's like they have to put it. They just can't stand it. They just can't see it having success. The lines out the door, the lines in the parking lot, just snaking through parking lots into other adjacent parking lots, because people are just like, yeah, this is real food. This is like a real milkshake and a real burger and real fries. I want that. I want the real thing. And then you go to Whataburger in Texas and it's just like, you could just go right up to the menu and order. It's just fast food. It's like McDonald's. It's faster than McDonald's. Just drive up, order at the menu, just drive on through. It's because, like, yeah, no, only children want it. You know, only crying babies annoying their parents are the ones that are like actually getting in the line to order Whataburger. And I'm driving through Texas. We'll get into that in a second. We're driving through Texas, but I stop at a Buc-ee's and just shocked, like hit, like jarred. Like I had to start asking questions like, is this real? Is this Buc-ee's? Is this like a spinoff or something? I was shocked at how small they were. Now saying that about Buc-ee's is an oxymoron, but compared to like the SEC states, like compared to the Buc-ee's I've been to in like Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee, I went to like two different Buc-ee's in Texas and they were smaller. And I just was like, I almost had a heart attack. I was like, I've been told my whole life that everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's better in Texas. And then the one thing they all take pride in is Buc-ee's. They like love to be like, Buc-ee's is our thing. You guys should all be grateful to like experience a sliver of heaven. You should be grateful that we allowed you guys to build a sliver of heaven called Buc-ee's in your own state, you peasants. That is the vibe I get. And then I go and it's like smaller. It's like smaller. The bathrooms are smaller. There's far less gas pumps. And I just got to wonder, man, is everything bigger in Texas? Or are you guys just liars? Or are you just liars? Because no, the Buc-ee's were not bigger in Texas. I don't have a problem with that. It's just funny. It was just unexpected, you know? But we're driving around Texas for a bit, for about 2 whole weeks, exploring, seeing some sights, seeing some sounds, meeting some people, checking out all the cities, college campuses. It was a pleasant little time. I could see myself living there, man. It was a nice little place. But this is just the running theme of this episode, though, is like East Texas versus West Texas. It was such night and day, like a different experience for me. Like I'm driving through West Texas, or I'm in Lubbock. I'm making my way down to like, San Marcos, Austin area. And I'm driving through the middle of nowhere in these like small West Texas towns. It was like, I get it. I understand now. Like I get why people enjoy Texas. My friends, my annoying Texas friends, my whole life have made me just like despise Texas. Not really, but just like roll my eyes annoyed. Like, okay, we get it. Everything's bigger. Okay, we get it. The food's better. Okay, we get it. Like football's better. Like it's just like I feel like that's the vibe. I'm just like, dude, shut up already. You know what I'm talking about. If you're not from Texas and you have a Texas friend, it's like that is your vibe. It's like knees buckle, eyes roll. You just kind of lose like, again. I got to hear about how great H-E-B is and how crappy our Kroger is or whatever. Again. Got to hear about the Buc-ee's. So I finally make it out to Texas, and the whole time I'm kind of like, I want the food to not taste good. I want things to be not cool. I want people to be not nice. Like I want it to be the thing that I hate. I want it to be the opposite of these people who are so smug and braggadocious about like, Texas is the best. And I want to be like, no, it's not. No, you're wrong. No, it's not. And one by one, not everything, but slowly but surely, as I'm making my way through West Texas, and I start to visit the cities and talk to people, I'm kind of like, okay, I get it. All right, I might be wrong about some things. I might be wrong here about some things, guys. I think the food is better. I'm like, I think the Mexican food is better in El Paso. Like, I think the brisket is better in Austin. Tacos are pretty good in Dallas, All right, another take. just another take. My phone was just over there getting, now the wind picked up, and now all of a sudden the rain is hitting my phone. Great. One more weather break, one more delay. Had my phone set up over there, and of course now all of a sudden after I set everything up and recording for a little bit, the wind wants to pick up and blow water just on my phone. Great. Can we catch a break? Is this God or is this Satan telling me not to record this episode? Like, Lord, if it's you, let it definitively be no. And if it's not, Lord, let me finish this episode, please. Let me get this over with. I want to be on my merry way. But we're talking about West Texas. I'm driving through these small West Texas towns, like perfect weather, perfect breeze, beautiful sunsets, these like small little ranches, cattle off in the distance, mountains off in the distance, but rolling hills, stopping in these small little towns. Everyone's just so nice and friendly. It's like men are men, women are women. There's like kids everywhere. They're happy. They're playing around. Stopped in this little town, Fredericksburg. It was immaculate. It was the cutest, adorable Christmas lights still on. I stopped. I'm like, go into a convenience store. It's like actually diverse, and like even the black people were like polite and friendly and nice. You know, it was just everything about it was so like, I get it now. This place is good. Like, I was wrong. This place is actually awesome. Like, this might be the best place this side of heaven, is like small West Texas towns, you know? And part of it was a little bit like I was on edge, man. It was like it was a thrill. It was a rush just driving middle of nowhere at night in Texas. Because I don't know if you know this, but the state bird of Texas is deer. Like, is about like yay high. For some reason, they're like smaller than all the other deer in America, but like, you know, about like waist high deer. There's just infinity of them. I don't know. I don't know who's not hunting them or why they're not being killed or whatever, like population control, but like, come on, West Texas. I mean, I'm just driving down the road and it's just pairs of glowing eyes just staring at me, standing on the side of the road. And I didn't get one. I didn't hit one, thankfully. I didn't even get one that was even close, but just the whole drive was me just on edge, gripping that steering wheel, just like on the defense the whole time. Not even from bad drivers. That's typically what I do around bad drivers. That's typically how I am in like big cities where I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of Asians and Indians and women on the road. I got to be on the defensive. This was like no cars on the road, but it's like at any second I could just slam into a deer because there's like 5,000 of them in the square mile around my car right now, you know? It was so crazy, dude. It was a sandstorm of deer. It was like literally like a sandstorm, like I could not escape it if I tried, of just me driving down any road. There was just deer lining it, waiting to be hit, you know? So I was kind of on edge. I was like on this like weird little like, I just gotta get to the city. It was like, I really just was like thankful to enter into the next town. Because I was like, oh gosh, okay, ooh, can let my guard down. I'm not going to get, you know, shocked and slapped by a deer running across the street, you know? So that was interesting. But I'm having that vibe. And I pull into Fredericksburg and there's like this sense of relief where I'm just like, dude, a city, finally. But actually this city was like heaven. If I go missing someday and you're like, man, I wonder where Sean went up, like packed up and moved to. Haven't heard from that guy in a while. Check Fredericksburg, Texas. I'm probably there. I'm probably kicking it there, you know? It was awesome, just in every way. It's these string of like small towns, and you're going from small town to small town to small town. And each little town has like their little, in their own unique way, their state championship banner, their state championship trophy, which is like the centerpiece of town. You know, it's either like a statue in a roundabout in the middle of the town, or it's like as soon as you enter, it's like this enormous giant sign. There was one town, it had this huge metal, like a welcome to the city sign, you know, huge. And it was like lit up, you know, they had like actual landscape lighting it up. And it was like state champs, class 2A or class 1A or 2A. It was like a really low class, you know, state champs. And it was like 2001. And I'm mad I forgot the city, but I just, that image is seared into my mind because I just lingered on it for so long. Like, yeah, you always hear about Texas cares about football. They take football seriously, etc. You know, best Texas, best football, blah, blah, blah. You know, Texans. They're like, we're the best. And you roll your eyes. You're like, okay, yeah, we've heard that before. But it just is crazy how much they do care about it. Like, it actually unites the community. It like brings these small towns together. Like, that is the community event. You know, like football or not, play football or not. It's like, it almost doesn't matter. The sport itself doesn't matter. It's like a bigger than that communal thing. It is like the community comes together. And when they win one state title one time, randomly, like some small town, small class state title 25 years ago, still the town is like, we did that. Like, we are a part of that. That was like the greatest thing that happened to us, was that team. And you know, they're all telling stories. You know, all those kids on that team are like heroes in that town. People still to this day tell stories about, remember that one game, that one fumble, that one field goal or something? And you can be like, oh yeah, that's stupid, that's pathetic. It's like, oh, everyone cares about sports ball. I get it. Like, there's like valid criticisms of people like wasting their time and energy on sports. But it's also pretty awesome that the community can like still find something to unite together with. There's like still a sense of tribe. There's still a sense of like, my family and your family are bonded by something that's not blood. Like, we come together and we are like on the same team with the same mission, the same purpose, and we're fighting against the same common enemy together. And it just literally stops being about the sports ball. It stops being about the points on the scoreboard. And it starts being like, this is my tribe. Like, we are in a fight. This is my tribe against them. And we need to do what it takes to like win, to not get conquered, to not get defeated. You know, it's cool. And I like that, like, pride. Like, even 25 years later, they're still just like, those are my boys. Those are my guys. That's my family. I will die for them. It's just like some high school kids that like had a good run one year. And the whole town's like, I will die for them. I will lay down my life for him. There's just something about that that's cool. We're missing that in America. We're just missing too much of that in this country, in America, you know? So it's awesome to still see that it's like alive and kicking around, you know? Because Americana is dying. I mean, the image we have of like what made America great is for real dying. We're not going to make America great again, by the way. It's just not going to happen. No one's taking it seriously. The guy who was supposed to take it seriously just didn't, and actually did the opposite and made America worse. So like, no one else is really putting their foot down or doing the hard work it takes to keep America great or to remake it great again, you know? We're just like letting everyone in. We're just like giving away our kids' inheritance to casinos and bad investments and flippant spending, you know? We're just like handing over our country to like foreigners and bankers and corporations, you know? Calling it a good thing. Saying I lived well, who cares? I'm going to be dead in 10 years. And just waste all of my money, waste and throw away what America was, that Americana concept, and just indulge it, experience it, and just like throw it away. Because after me, who cares if it goes away? I want to experience it, and after I'm gone, who cares if it's not here anymore? And then you just have entire generations of like young men. You have young Randys out there in Texas who are just inheriting like nothing. They're inheriting a state that's just overrun with Indians. Like, Texas is just going to be little India in 20 years. 2 decades from now, 1 or 2 generations from now. It's so crazy. It's so jarring as an outsider, like going to Texas for the first time and just being like, what is happening? And I think people in Texas don't know what's happening. It's like a slow burn. It's like the frog slowly being cooked, you know? It's like they don't realize what's happening. They don't see it. But an outsider comes in and is like, dude, why is there Indians everywhere? And not the good kind. I know what you're thinking. Not the cool kind. Not like the, hey, they were here first kind. You know, the feather kind. We make sick clothes and like have cool like war chants kind. That would be cool. That would actually be pretty sick. If they were like reconquering Texas, okay, I could see it. It's not going to happen, but okay, cool, acceptable. I'm talking about the bad kind. I'm talking about the people coming here that are not Christian. They don't speak our language. They don't hold our values. They like throw trash around. They don't know how to use bathrooms properly. Like, they have an unhealthy obsession with like feces and trash and stuff. It just is like bad. We're not going to get into all that today. We're not trashing on Indians on purpose. The point I'm trying to make is that like, they don't belong in Texas. You know, Texas is just like, it was built and forged and made by like white men and Spaniards. It was like Europeans came to Texas and made it awesome and great. Like one of the great states. It could probably be one of the best nations if it was actually still its own nation, you know? And now they're just like handing over the keys to a bunch of Indians who like don't speak the language, don't share the religion, don't look like the people, the population at all. They're not Spanish, they're not mestizo, they're not Anglo, they're not, any kind of white, any kind of black, any kind of brown. They're like other continent foreigner, weird brown. They just, again, I'm not trying to trash on them. It just is like simply the fact that they don't belong there. Does that sound mean? Am I being mean? It's just they're just too different. They're too different and they're too unwilling to change. You stop at their gas stations that they own, you stop at the corporations they own, because, by the way, they own all of them. I don't know if you're paying attention, Texas, but these people are taking over your real estate and they're taking over your businesses. Like, where are your kids going to work in 10 years when all the jobs are just reserved for Indians? But you go to these places, the hotels are trashy, they're dirty, they're smelly. Like, they don't care about the things we care about. They're not clean people. They're not tidy people. They're not considerate of others' people. Like, they are a very selfish, very short-minded, like a short time span-minded people, where they just throw their trash in a river because they can't understand or comprehend or care enough about the consequences of what happens when that trash stays in the river or flows downstream. Who might that affect? Me throwing trash in the river right now, who cares? Because I won't see it. I got rid of my trash. It was a good thing that I did that. Not understanding and respecting the fact that, like, there's other people in your community that are going to be affected negatively by that. So they just don't belong in Texas. Texas is before this invasion has been happening in the last whatever X amount of time. Clearly, it was a much more like in-group, high-trust society, a hard-working mindset society, a very like literally don't mess with Texas was the phrase, because they were like, we are not going to be a state where we just litter and trash our state. We're going to have a clean state. We're going to have a pretty state. Our rivers are going to stay clean. Our lakes and rivers are going to be clean. Don't mess with Texas or else face the consequences, because we're serious about that here. And now I'm looking around at Texas as an outsider who's never been there before, and I'm like, oh, they messed with it. The rivers are gross. Everything's getting messed with. All the businesses are being run down and broken down and grossed up. So they're messing with Texas. I mean, and again, it just, fine, man, go do that in India. Go do that somewhere else where you belong, where you share the language, the religion, the culture, where you kind of fit in. It's like you just don't belong here. A bunch of Indians from New Delhi and Hyderabad don't belong in Austin or Dallas or Fredericksburg, And that might be why Fredericksburg is like the last awesome town in America. No Indians. It was like all white and black people. It's awesome. There were Spanish people too. White, black, and Spanish. It's like that's the perfect combination. They speak English. They're Christians. Doesn't matter what race they are, but they're like Americans. They're like, I'm a black Christian man who has an American flag on my truck. Like, that's the kind of vibe, Awesome. I could live there. I would love to live there. And then you go to these cities and it's like you can't even like sleep for 6 hours in a hotel room because you check in and it's like the shower hurts. The shower pressure literally is painful. Who cares? There's just noises going off in the walls. There's buzzers going off. There's ice machines going. Why do I even have an ice machine in my room? It goes off every 30 minutes. Why do I only have one pillow? I went to a hotel room. There was one pillow on the bed, like on a queen size, king size bed where there should be like 4. It's like, did they forget to add pillows? Like, they just don't care. They're not considerate. They'll do the bare minimum that they can get away with. They are scammers, So I go to this barbecue place. I'm sitting there. We're eating. I'm talking. I'm making friends with the people serving me food and sitting next to me and stuff. And there's a basketball game on. I don't watch basketball too much. I don't follow it. But when it's like on in front of my face in the background, I'm gonna like watch it as I eat. It's this season. It's a 25-26 NBA basketball season, and it's the Memphis Grizzlies versus someone. I forgot. I don't even care who they were playing. Doesn't matter. But it was like the Memphis Grizzlies at home in Memphis playing against somebody. And I'm watching this game and I looked up and I was like, why are there just all these white goobers on the floor? Like, I'm looking at Memphis and 4 out of the 5 players on the NBA team, Memphis Grizzlies, are like goofy, awkward white guys. It's like these tall, lanky, big guys And it's like these like smooth, like shucking and jiving wannabe white boys that are like not quite really that, like they're not like a Jason Kidd. They're not quite like as good as like a Steve Nash or something, where it just flows. Where you're like, dude, that kid, that's a baller. Like a Stockton, you're like, yeah, he's white, but man, he can play, he can flow, you know. There was something about that team. I sat there and watched these Memphis Grizzlies, and I was like, even like the like shooters and the fast guys aren't really good. They're just like awkward. You can tell they're slow. You can tell they're like almost unconfident. Like they just don't belong. Not even just in the NBA, like on an NBA court. Like they don't belong together, and they don't belong in Memphis. Dude, I don't know what y'all know about Memphis or don't know about Memphis, but like I'm going to take a wild guess here and just say I'm going to shoot a wild claim out here, and I guarantee it's correct. People are not buying the jerseys of goofy white guy goobers on the Memphis Grizzlies. No one's down on Beale Street like wearing like a Kevin Johnson jersey. Yeah, I just got my fresh new Eric Newberry jersey. He's the starting shooting guard on the Memphis Grizzlies. He's an awkward white guy that's going to be replaced in 2 years. It's like everyone can just see that and go like, that's not right. Like this shouldn't be happening. This isn't a good thing. This isn't good. This doesn't like all these goofy white guys don't belong on the NBA team from Memphis. You know, if it was like Utah, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Like me, you know, maybe like a Portland, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, goofy goober white guys on Portland's NBA team. Yeah. Memphis? Dude, Memphis. I don't know if you guys know Memphis or not. But Memphis, like all these people are like, man, I can't wait to wear my brand new Eric Newberry jersey out to Beale Street. Everyone's gonna think I'm so cool. I'm hip. I get it. I'm with the cool cats, the whole cool hip cats, and my fresh new Memphis Grizzlies jersey. It's like, dude, at the end of the day, like they just don't belong there. Like even if the team's bad, you need to just put people on that team that like the city kind of represents the city, is the city. You know, like I feel like 4 years ago, the Memphis Grizzlies were like dreadlocks, and they were like talking smack, and they were like starting fights, and they were like players were like flashing guns. They're like getting suspended because they cannot help themselves from just like taking out their gun and just like showing it off on TikTok Live or whatever. That's Memphis Grizzlies. Like that is who belongs on the Memphis Grizzlies. Like get those guys. Dreadlocks, Oreo black skin, they're like showing off their guns, like holding them sideways and stuff, you know what I mean? Get those people back on the Memphis Grizzlies. These like awkward, goofy, goober white guys that look straight out of like Salt Lake City, they just don't belong there. And I say all that to just say it's the same thing with the Indians. I'm sure they're nice people. I'm sure like you could be friends with them. I've met some of these people. I've talked and been nice to some of these people. They're good. I met like actually a good friend in this hotel in Lubbock. Indian young man, nice, funny. He might be a fan of my channel now. He's like going to check it out. Great guy, awesome guy. I'm like, dude, we would hang out and be best friends. But like your family and I, like your family and I, your friends and I, your people and Texas, it just isn't like a match. Like if I just went over with my family and just went to Delhi and just took over like the Marriott hotel chain and just started making money and like not converting to a religion, not speaking their language, not participating in their like customs or religions or rituals, and just did everything American, everything white, just kept speaking English. It's like, didn't they spend like 200 years trying to kick the English out for doing exactly that? Didn't they say like, hey, white English people, you don't belong here. Give it to us. Give it back to us. You guys don't belong here. Get out. And yeah, it took some wars and it took some violence and whatever, and the evils were done. But it's like that same concept is like, dude, hey, British people, you don't belong in Hyderabad. And hey, Indian people, you don't belong in Lubbock, Texas. It just, you know, hate me all you want. Call me names all you want. I'm just, you know it's right. You know it's true. You know that rings true, you know? So we find ourselves driving through West Texas, driving through the small towns, avoiding the sandstorm of deer, trying to not mess with the state, you know? And I'm starting to I keep having this phrase come into my mind. It's just like, I get it. I'm starting to understand. Like the food is good. The people are nice. The state is clean. I get it. I was a hater on Texas. I was hating on Texas from afar, from a distance, as an outsider. Now I'm here. I'm living it. I'm breathing it. I'm seeing it. I'm beholding it in person. And I just kept being like, I get it. I understand it now. I'm going to move here. This is my life now. I love this. But then I went to Austin and I was like, oh, yep. Okay, I don't get it anymore. And then I went to College Station and I was like, yeah, College Station's pretty cool, pretty nice. Okay, I get it again. Okay, yeah, I get it again. And then I went back to Waco and I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. It's cool here. I get it again. I feel like I get it. Maybe Austin was the outlier, you know? And then I go to Dallas and I'm like, oh no, I really don't get it. I keep feeling like I'm like I'm touching the surface, like I'm scratching the surface. And then I just go to the cities of Texas and I'm like, ooh, yikes. I need to get out of here. And a big part of it was we're going to skip a bunch of stuff. We have a bunch of stuff. Again, I already recorded this episode. I don't want to keep ranting and trying to attempt to make the same jokes twice. Sorry, we're just going to miss some of the stuff that we were going to talk about. But a big thing I want to touch on is Torchies and how all my Texas friends talk about, all my Texas Christian friends in Nashville would tell me, Torchies, gotta have Torchies. Torchies is the best. Torchies is the best tacos in the world, the best food in the world. It's the best Mexican food in the world, even better than Mexico. You have to get Torchies. And my friends freaked out because they just opened one in Nashville. They just opened one like in the most inconvenient place, right in the heart of Broadway. Locals will never even be able to like really get out there to enjoy it, go to it. And everyone still freaks out. Gotta go to Torchies. Oh my God, there's a Torchies in Nashville. I'm freaking out over it, right? So I'm like, just like, okay, it must be good. And now on this journey, I'm starting to kind of run into like thing after thing where I'm like, maybe Texas does have really good food. Maybe I am wrong about Texas. Maybe, I keep kind of being proven wrong. I keep having that mindset of like, ooh, I do get it. I do understand now. And then I go to Torchies and I'm like, ooh, this place is a nightmare. Not only is it like satanic pagan themed with like this weird gross devil baby, like this weird Cupid themed devil baby is like on the cups and like on the walls and stuff, but like the food is just goy slop. It literally was just corporate slop bowls. It was like the whole, hey, we do tacos, but they're like a little weird. It's like, yeah, we do tacos, but brisket tacos. Yeah, we have, one of our tacos is like, we call it the white trash. They have like the quirky, funny names on it, It's quirky, funny name taco, and it has chicken strips in it. Isn't that weird? Isn't that quirky? Isn't that fun? And I'm like, no. Like, if I wanted chicken fingers, I would just go to Cane's, Raising Cane's. I would go to Chick-fil-A. Like, I'm here to eat tacos. And they have this overpriced goy slop corporate bowl, mush bowl of just, mystery meat, with all the toppings, just throw it in a bowl. Here you go, goy, slop it up. And I'm supposed to be blown away. I'm supposed to be like, whoa, Torchies has the best slop bowl. I've had some great slop bowls in my life, but this right here, this satanic pagan themed corporate taco place, quirky themed taco place that's definitely just tricking and manipulating like gullible idiots into spending too much money because of the quote unquote experience they get eating at a pagan themed, satanic themed restaurant. I'm supposed to just eat it and be like, my life has now changed forever. I am now a new man because I have now experienced the Torchies corporate goy slop bowl, the greatest one of them all. I've had them in every state. I've had them in every start to finish of my life as a young lad, as an old man, as an old unk, as a 34-year-old old unk. I've had them all, every state, every city, every type, every flavor, but I'm supposed to go to Torchies and be like, no, this one is different. This one's unique. This one's better than the rest. The ring to rule them all. Torchy slop bowl. So shame on you. So I bring that up to say just shame on you. I have all these Christian friends from Texas that love Torchies. They were like, when you go to Texas, make sure you get Torchies. Torchies, Torchies, Torchies. And I didn't know I was like walking into that. I didn't know I was going to walk in and just be angry. Why am I in here? Why am I doing this? Why am I paying for this? I could just go to Chipotle. Chipotle is better and cheaper. Literally, Chipotle is better and cheaper and not satanic. So shame on you. All my friends out there. I'm not even speaking to the masses, the people, the strangers on the internet. I'm talking to my few friends that will watch this that told me, make sure you go to Torchy's. It's the best. No, no, it is not. And shame on you for telling you that. Shame on you. But we talked about, I had this giant Planet Fitness debacle where I'm pretty sure I stumbled into a weird cult. There was really no explanation for what was going on. And I'm not kidding. We'll just talk about it. No, we won't. We'll talk about it at a later stream. If you're seeing this and you're curious about, we'll say the Walmart story in New Mexico and the Planet Fitness story in Dallas, Texas, because they're both very annoying. They're both peak, hey, Sean's got some complaints. Hey, Sean's going to go on a funny rant where he's going to complain about some stuff in a funny way. Just remind me on a later stream, a later episode when I start doing live streams to bring up the Planet Fitness debacle in Dallas and the Walmart experience in Albuquerque. I don't want to repeat that. I just don't want to repeat a 30-minute rant about those two things. You know what I mean? And we'll just put a bow on the racist rant. Let's conclude. Let's wrap up better the racist rant that everyone's going to not like. The couple racist rants I have that everyone's going to either like or not like. Either like a lot and tell me to do more of, or like hate me and cancel me and tell me to take it down and delete the post. But we're just kind of at this point, and I know it's like a meme. This is like a meme that's being tossed around, but it is true. Say like China and Russia just started nuking American cities. Like say they nuked like the top 50 cities in America, just wiped them off the face of the map. We're at the point in our empire where we would get better. We would be stronger. We would be more cohesive. Not only would we be like fired up and jacked up and like on the defensive. I mean, if that legitimately happened, can you imagine how angry all the rednecks would be? Can you imagine the rebel yells that would start to be screamed from the country boys that are like, you gonna attack America? Oh, we'll see about that. Not only are you going to make the actual men, the actual fighters, like fired up and energized and ready to go and ready to get payback and revenge, but you'd get rid of all the mess, all the nonsense. You'd get away with just all the eaters and not the producers. Like you'd get rid of people who aren't really adding any like significant value to the empire anymore. You'd get the people who are just taking, who are looting, who are pillaging, you know? You'd kind of just get rid of them. Almost like it'd be a good thing, you know? But it's just like America couldn't possibly be invaded. Like we cannot possibly be invaded in that concept that you're thinking when I say that phrase. No one's bombing us. No one's sending ships with soldiers to invade our beaches. Like it literally can't happen. We have 2 ocean-sized moats surrounding us. And then we have giant mountains after that. And then we have deserts and enormous, huge, powerful rivers and mountains all like we have a lot of resources, a lot of wealth, a lot of stuff you'd want to take. But how are you going to possibly take it? And when you take it, how are you going to keep it? Because every American would hide in a foxhole, hide in a cave, hide in the woods, and not give up, you know? That's why that Japanese general was like, under every blade of grass is a rifle. It's like America is like trying to like cut grass. It's just like the more you cut, the more it grows back harder, faster, stronger. And for as many blades as there are of grass, there are rifles in the hands of American men. Like, you're not going to invade us. Sorry, it's not happening. But what you could do, if you wanted to end the American empire, was conquer it from within, you know? Would be like flood its cities with foreigners that don't speak the language, don't share the culture, hate America, despise America. They want revenge on America. You put people that aren't willing to work or sacrifice or do any kind of like meaningful jobs or professions or have any kind of actual skills that are actually providing value to the society they're living in. You just have a bunch of takers. You have looters. You have Somalis running scams. You have Somali pirates up in Minneapolis just like stealing people's money, taxpayers' money that should be going to like altruistic programs like daycare and feeding children and busing kids to school. And these Somalians show up and they just like steal it. What did you expect? Like, duh, dude, you imported Somali pirates and you just pretended like they wouldn't resort back to their instincts, that they wouldn't just resort back to just looting and stealing. It's like, oh yeah, we're just going to bring a bunch of Nigerians in and just hope they don't scam us, hope they don't pretend to be Nigerian princes needing wire transfers. We're just going to bring in a bunch of Indian, phone call scammers and just pretend like they're going to change, pretend like they'll fit in, pretend like it'll work itself out somehow. They bend over and poop in the streets. They throw their trash directly into rivers. They don't speak our language. They're just constantly looking for bobs and vagine. They're constantly trying to find ways of scam boomers out of like their children's inheritance money. And we just bring them in and we're like, this is cool. This is fine. Let them run all our hotels. Let them run all our restaurants. Let them run all our businesses. That's fine. It's cool. They'll figure it out. They'll blend in, right? And it's just like, no, they won't. And no, America will cease to exist. And the more you do that, the more you bring in not America, the more America will not look like America. The more that Americana utopia will just die. Like the deer, like the sandstorm of deer, it'll just drift away. It'll prance away. It'll be on its merry way, never to be found again, never to be experienced again. You bring these people in and some groups adapt. Like there are African groups that they come here and they kiss the ground. They start getting jobs. They can't wait to work. They can't wait to start owning land and building their own house and starting a family. They want their kids to learn English and nothing but English because they want their kids to be American. They want their kids, they themselves, and then they want their kids after them and their grandchildren after them to become American, to be America, to do American things. They are thankful for the opportunity, the gift that was given to them, that is citizenship, that is an ability to be here legally as an American. Those are the people we want. That's why I'm not really like that anti like Hispanic Central American migration. Those people come here and it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of them. They don't want to learn English. They don't want to this. They don't want to that. But for the most part, they do. For the most part, they're Christians. For the most part, they are like, they share our kind of cultural values. For the most part, they're actually more Americana, more vaquero, more cowboy rodeo culture than even us, But it's just these people from China, these people from India, these people from Africa, like they just simply should not be here. You can call me mean or angry or hateful or whatever. Call me all the mean names you want. Point all the fingers you want. I'm right. It's true. And they just come here and they don't care. If they don't care enough to even learn the language or become American, then they're not going to care about your stuff. They're going to take what they can. What they can get away with, they will take. They will loot, they will steal, they will plunder, they will take your ornate wooden doors off of your mausoleum, and they will take it and burn it for fuel for their fire tonight. They don't care about what your grandparents did or what your cultures or your tradition is or what sacrifices were made by the people here in the past. The blood that has gone into the soil, into making this country great, into making this country what it is. These people show up. They don't care about any of that. They just care about like, how am I going to be warm tonight? Oh, I'll just go take that guy's ornate wooden door off its hinges and just chop it up and burn it because it'll help me. It'll suit my interests. I'll be warm tonight. Who cares about them? Who cares about my neighbor? Who cares about who built that? Why they built it? What purpose it's serving? How many people care about it? Appreciate it? Who cares? I want to be warm tonight, so I'm going to take that. And if I can get away with it, I'll do it. No one's going to stop me. No one's going to punish me. No one's going to put me in jail. No one's going to send me back to my country. I'll just keep taking. I'll just keep taking all the wooden doors off their hinges and lighting them as fuel for my fire for the night. No one's stopping me. No one's putting their foot down. And that's what's happening. Is Texas is being messed with. All these people are coming into Texas. They're grabbing their remote. That rant. If you're like an OG football head, if you're an OG ball knower, you know what I'm about to say. That rant, that coach from that team down in Florida, They came up in your house. They kicked down the door. They kicked down your front door. They walked in your living room in your house, your mama's house. They walked in. They sat down on your couch. They grabbed your remote. They put their dirty feet up on your sofa, up on your ottoman, your coffee table, and they changed the TV. They changed the channel on your effing TV in your mama's house, and you ain't do nothing about it. That is what's happening right now. Like, these Indians are just like kicking down the door of America. They're coming in, they're grabbing our remote, they're putting their dirty feet up, all up on the sofa, just eating and throwing trash on your living room floor, changing the channel to whatever they want to watch, whatever insane Bollywood thing they want to watch is, whatever insanity they watch and dance to and sing along to. And they're just like destroying your house. They don't care about it. Who cares? Oh, it's your mom's house? So, well, I'm here right now. Well, I want to watch TV. Oh, I made a mess. Who cares? Someone will clean it up. That is like the epitome of what's happening in America right now, and specifically in Texas. It's like, out of all the states, you think Texas would be the most like gung-ho, the most like, we don't do that around here, the most, you don't mess with Texas. I kind of expected to see less of it. I expected to go to Texas and see like less it being messed with and more like masculine, strong men like putting their foot down and saying like, no, son, we don't do that here. Son, no, you don't just come into a man's house and grab his remote. Son, you take your shoes off. You don't put your dirty shoes on all over people's furniture. You leave them at the door. That's what I expected Texas, is to be like men, cowboy men, wearing their cowboy hats, being like, we don't do that around here. You can leave. You can get on and get. We don't do that stuff around these parts. This is Texas. And I went there, and it's the opposite. It's like, oh, no, I don't want to be offensive. There's a bunch of Indians here, and it's great. It's a good thing. It's making our state better. It's okay. This is totally cool. Yep. Like, don't look. Like, put blinders on and don't look around. Don't look at how the rivers are getting dirty. Don't look at how the streets are a mess. Don't look at how, like, there's violence and rapes and insanity happening all over the place. Don't look at that. Pretend like it's not happening. Everything's fine here. Everything's great. Keep bringing more foreigners in. It'll all work itself out. And I guess I'm just weird. I just don't understand why Texas isn't being more manly and masculine and more don't mess with us. Why no one in Texas is like putting their foot down for real and saying, we don't do that here. This isn't happening here. Take that stuff to California. Take that mess with you over to some other Yankee state. We don't do that around here. No one messes with Texas. But I was there for 2 weeks kind of with my, like, looking around going like, they're messing with Texas. I feel like I'm like the Paul Revere, like yelling in the streets, like, hey, Texans, they're messing with you. You're being messed with. Your state is being messed with. Are you going to stop it? Are you going to do anything about it? And I feel like it was just all these like Texans being like, no, it's cool. It's all right. It's fine. Diversity, right? Yeah, we're cool. It'll all work itself out. I'll be dead in 10 years. Who cares? Fuck it. Who cares? That phrase, pardon my language, I'm trying to be better at that, but it just is that phrase that should never be uttered ever again by anyone, especially Christian man. Fuck it. Who cares? Like, that is the opposite of you as a Christian man. That is the opposite of, hey, Christian man, go produce good fruit. That is the opposite. That's like, nah, I'm good. I'll just be fine without fruit. Nah, who cares? Whatever. Just let the fruit rot. Let the fruit spoil. Who cares about it? Yeah, so there's not fruit being produced? Maybe next year. It's just like a bad harvest. Whatever, we'll figure it out later. We'll pick ourselves up by the bootstraps. We'll get our cowboy boots on, put our cowboy hat on, and pretend to be big, strong men, keeping our state good and healthy and safe for ourselves, our families, our loved ones, and our future posterity, the future generations to come. I don't see that. I see a lot of people all hat, no cattle. I see a lot of guys wearing cowboy hats that aren't really acting like men. I see a lot of people putting costumes on that say, I'm a Christian, I'm righteous, I'm strong, I'm masculine. And then I look around at the state, like the state of Texas, and I'm like, it's not, no. You can put on the costume all you want, but there's not fruit being produced here. This place is being messed with. Nobody's stopping it. I had written down, they are taking, stealing, destroying, trashing, and just not helping. They're not improving or adding value to America. And it is hurting us all. It's hurting us, the people who were here first in America, and it's hurting them. The people that are coming to America and they're looting and they're pillaging and they're stealing and they're making the place messy, etc. Everything we've been talking about. Like, it's not loving to the people who have been here, who lived here, who've, like, their families have, like, shed blood, sweat, and tears over building this country into what it is, raising up the land from what it was to, like, a family farm, a generational family farm. Like, there's so much investment. There's so much that was, like, sacrificed and given up for this country. And it's not loving to those people. It's not loving to their ancestors to just hand it off to foreigners. And likewise, it's also not loving to just bring in these foreigners. Like, again, like a bunch of goofy goober white guys on the Memphis Grizzlies. They just don't belong here. Do you think those guys are having a fun time in Memphis? You know, I feel like they probably aren't very well liked, very well received, very cheered for. You know, I don't think there's probably a lot of people lining up to buy tickets to support their goofy goober white guy team. You know, it's not really loving to them. It's like they belong on a team that would actually support them and appreciate them and give them playing time, and where fans would actually cheer for them and they'd actually feel like they fit and they belong and they're in it for the long haul with this team, with this group of guys, not just like temporary players in place for a year or two while they figure out and draft new players, you know, like during a rebuild or whatever. But it just isn't loving to either side, and yet we're doing it. And yet we continue to do it, and yet it's going to continue to happen because no one's stopping it. No one's putting their foot down and saying no and stopping it, you know? And the big difference, everyone just always points to, like, well, you're an immigrant. Well, the Europeans came here too. Well, everyone's an immigrant. And it's like, okay, sure. But, like, when the European immigrants came here, they built this country. Like, they took a country that was empty and they built things. They built statues. They built lakes and canals and highways and trains. And they built ornate picnic structures for no reason, really, no good reason. Like, we made the country. We took empty land where, yeah, there was natives hunting buffalo and stuff and moving their teepees around, being nomadic and stuff. We came, we built bridges, we built canals, we, like, dammed up rivers, provided energy, we built cities, we built civilization, we built one of the greatest empires in recorded human history. So yeah, a bunch of immigrants, quote unquote, a bunch of European settlers came here as immigrants, quote unquote. Okay, I'll give you that. But when we came here, we kissed the ground being thankful for the opportunity. We explored it, we charted uncharted lands, we tamed, you know, the wilderness, we moved mountains, we moved rivers, we built this country, we forged America. So to just say that that is like, to be like, oh yeah, that's the exact same thing as just all these Indians coming over here and scamming people. All these Somalis coming over here and just, like, ripping people off and stealing taxpayer money. To equivocate, to make that comparison is so evil. You're either very, very dumb and unaware of what's happening, like, now and what happened in the past, or you're just evil and you're, like, that deceptive and you're that much of a liar that you're going to act and pretend like those are the same things. Like, your great-grandparents who came off a boat from Eastern Russia or from Italy, like Sicily, or from Ireland or something, came here with nothing in their pockets, was given nothing, was basically just thrown into a factory or a field and just told to, like, make something for themselves. And then they made something for themselves. They sacrificed and bled and sweat and tears were shed to make sure that their children had better lives than they did, that they could, you know, get off a boat with pennies in their pocket. And by the time they die, they actually had land that they owned and a house they called their home and children that were going to inherit it. And then 2, 3, 4 generations later, we're just like, nah, well, that's the same exact thing as, like, Sanjay Patel coming over and, like, running a hotel that's dirty and gross. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing in every way. Your European ancestors who came here and the Somali pirates who just 5 years ago were, like, robbing shipping containers on boats off the coast of Africa, the Horn of Africa. Same thing, same scenario. They're coming here, they're looting, they're scamming, they're stealing taxpayer money. They're just like your great-grandparents. Now shut up and let them stay here. Now shut up and let them steal from you. Now shut up, sit down, and just let them be criminals. Let them tear your country apart. Let them loot and pillage your city. The cities and the land of the country that your ancestors built, sacrificed for, you're just going to hand it over, and you're going to have like this dumb argument of like, it's just the same scenario. It's just the same thing. It's just not. Okay, cool. You can believe it. Have fun believing that out there, but I'm not falling for it. I'm not buying it. I'm good. I'm out. I'm out. We built civilization. We built houses, family dynasties. We tamed the land, moved mountains, went to space. Allegedly, supposedly. We conquered space, bro. Supposedly. Allegedly. And then they show up and it's like chaos, confusion, trash everywhere, violence, looting, raping, scams. It's like we are just not the same. And it's not even that big of a deal. It's like they just don't belong here with us. They can just stay over there. We can help them over there. If we want to help them, we can help them over there where they belong. The place where their family comes from, where their ancestors come from, the places where they share the same cultures and languages and religions and ways of life and philosophical views, like they can stay there and we can help them there if we want to be helpful. But again, it's not loving to either side to bring them over here where they don't belong, where they don't fit in, where they don't appreciate it, and where they just make the place worse. They come here and they make the place they came to worse than they found it. Your European immigrant settlers came here and they made this place better than they found it. There's a difference, you know? So again, you're either really just too stupid to talk to about any kind of like meaningful conversation. If you bring that example up in all seriousness, you're either too dumb to talk to or you're too evil to talk to, because that's clearly an apples and oranges kind of thing, you know? And that's all we'll say about that. We'll move on to the next racist rant. Supposedly we're done with the rain. Let's test my luck and see if that's the case. Let's see if I can catch a break recording this episode at all in any way, and see if we can actually finish recording this episode without another rain delay or without the police that are awkwardly, weirdly driving by looking at me like I'm doing something criminal or wrong right now, you know? And maybe I am. Maybe this is hate speech. Maybe that's a crime. What up, ducks? What up, ducks? Just playing around, horsing around? Or do you two just hate that guy? And you're just trying to get away from him? Or are y'all just playing around? Pretty. Or maybe those two love each other and that's the side piece. Maybe that's the sneaky link over here and this is the actual couple right here. Meep, meep, meep. Come to me, my ducks, my ducklings, to your duck daddy. But we'll make this quick. We'll wrap up all our racist stuff all in one episode. We'll get it all out of the way, right? I was talking to this guy, interesting conversation with a guy who was Mexican, who was agreeing with me on this, by the way. So if you think I'm racist, I'm a white guy, I'm not allowed to say this. I'm just going to repeat the words of a Mexican brown man who was letting me know, we were talking about this, about the whole vaqueros. Everyone loves to talk about vaqueros. Everyone who hates white people loves to bring up vaqueros and how cowboys aren't real. They just copied vaqueros. Cowboys aren't, cowboy culture is just white people stealing brown people stuff. It's like colonized again. First of all, that's what Americans do best. Americans make the best stuff. Here's my Texan coming out. Here's why I vibe with Texas so much, is because it also is kind of like this American mentality, this American vibe, which is based on reality, which is our truth because it is based on truth, is that Americans make the best stuff. We are the best and we make the best things, or we take what was made and we make it better. We make it the best. Yeah, you have Chinese food. We will take it and make it better. You have pizza. Oh, hey, Italy, you made something called pasta and pizza. Yeah. Okay, that's ours now. Any kind of food that's out there, everyone always loves about foreign food. Oh, their food's so tasty. Their food's so good. I'll hand over my nation because my dinner is tasty tonight, But all of that is just because like America took those foods and made them better. Those people brought their foods from their other countries here, and we kind of added the right extra spices, a bunch of little alterations to it, mix it up, chop it up, fuse it with some stuff, and then we make it better, dude. Americans, and specifically like European white Americans, just they colonize and they make it better. They take Africa and they make it better. They take the foods of the world, they make it better. Someone starts discovering a technology over there, we take it and we like make it good. We make it useful and powerful, you know? So that's kind of what we do best, for better or for worse. You can hate that. You can say we're colonizers and robbers and thieves. It's like, or you can thank us for making your tacos taste better. You know? Yeah, hey, thanks for the concept of a taco. Okay, yeah, thank you. We're going to take it from here. We're going to make it better. We're going to perfect it, you know? And you can say that's mean or whatever because it's not the original taco, but now you have a better taco, so you should be thanking us. Just like in the Spanish-Mexican War, this is what me and this guy were talking about. It's like, dude, Mexicans need to be thanking America for not taking more. Like, we messed them up so hard in that war. You know, that tyrant, Santa Anna, that's what we were talking about. This guy was like, dude, everyone in Mexico hated that guy anyways. They had a king, a ruler, a president or king, Santa Anna. Everyone hated him. He was constantly like fighting off rebellions from within because everyone in Mexico hated him. We came and just embarrassed him, decimated him, sent him back running all the way. We sent our armies down and conquered the whole country. We conquered the mountains, conquered the desert with ease. And when we went all the way down there, instead of finishing the job and just taking all the land, we were pretty nice and chill and like retreated our armies and drew a line where it is today, the borderline where it is today. And we said, you know what? We'll take this half and you can take all of this down here. And I just think Mexicans are pretty ungrateful. And this Mexican guy was agreeing. We were like, dude, I think Mexicans need to thank the whites a little more. I think the Mexicans need to be thankful to America that they didn't take all of it. America should have, but didn't take all of Mexico and make it the 51st state or the whatever it was at that time state. Mexico should have ended up being like 4 different states in America. And we were like, you know what? We'll be nice. We'll let you have that. We just fully conquered you, defeated you, embarrassed you. We can take whatever we want from you right now. We'll only take California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. That's all we're going to take. So instead of being angry and being like, you're on stolen land, this is indigenous land, the Mexicans are going to take their land back. It's like, dude, first of all, chill. No, you're not. Second of all, you should be a little more grateful and thankful, you know? And if you keep talking like that, we might come back and finish the job, you know? We can always come back and finish what we started, you know? So, hey, Mexicans out there, thank a white guy today. Hey, Mexicans, thank an American today for not taking your country, for the fact that you can say, I am Mexican, because Mexico existed, because we were nice enough to let you guys keep existing, you know? You should be thanking us. And it's the same with the vaqueros. So the vaquero thing is, you know, they claim that, oh, the whites who came to Texas saw what the vaqueros were doing and copied it and then made it better. And that's what you see today. The modern rancher, the modern rodeo, the modern cowboy is just based on when the whites came to Texas and they saw what the vaqueros were doing. They took that culture, they took all of that stuff and made it into cowboy tech culture, you know, that Texas rancher cowboy culture. That's the claim. That's when the people who hate whites say, look, see, we did it first and the whites just copied. The whites have no culture. So 2 parts to that. First of all, if that's true, if that's what happened, let's say that's also the story there is right there. Then, okay, well, we showed up, we took what you made and we made it better, like America does. Okay, sure. You want to play that game? Well, I'll say everything that you claim is true. You're kind of missing the broader, bigger point that's like, well, then why aren't vaqueros still here? Well, then why didn't the Cowboys become vaqueros if it was better and superior and there first? It's like, well, clearly that thing you're clinging on to as being like former greatness, the make Mexico great again mindset of like clinging to the past greatness and trying to bring it back foolishly into the present day. Okay, sure. Well, the fact that doesn't exist, the fact it went away, proves that like the Americans did it better. You know, it's kind of ironic. But also the truth of the story, which I didn't really realize until this guy kind of brought up this point, is that vaqueros themselves came from Spanish culture. So everyone likes to like start in the middle of the story because it helps prove their argument right? So all these people like to say, well, the white people showed up and stole the culture from vaqueros, but they don't like to talk. But let's not talk about where the vaqueros got the culture from, which was the Spanish who came from Europe. So it's like the Spanish Europeans come to America. They bring horses with them. They bring like animal husbandry. They bring like ropes. They bring technology. They bring like a systems of government. They bring culture, languages, you know, and they eventually that kind of gets taken by the natives, the Indios, the indigenous peoples, kind of take all of this stuff that the Spanish brought and they mix it with their, you know, cultures and traditions and customs, and that becomes vaqueros. Vaqueros are the indigenous people of America, were influenced by a bunch of European Spanish stuff, given horses, given ropes, given, you know, textiles, given a bunch of stuff that is quote unquote vaquero culture, came from European Spanish people. There were no horses here. There was no cotton clothes here. There were no ropes here. Like all of this stuff is European technology, European culture, European languages. They come, they bring it. The vaqueros kind of emerge out of that, you know, this weird mixture of like indigenous culture and vibes mixed with the European technology. And then here comes vaqueros. So now here's this new creation after the Europeans came called vaqueros. And then 100 years later, here comes a different European group of white people that come. They see the vaqueros and they go, "Oh, we like what you're doing here. Let's also make it better. Let's also take what you guys made. You guys took the Spanish stuff and mixed it with your own indigenous stuff, and it made this cool things happen. Let's also take what's good from our Anglo-Saxon culture and also mix it in, and then let's perfect it and make cowboy culture, and let's make rodeo culture." And these whole people who just hate white people, they just want to be like, well, we were the best and white people suck. And it just doesn't matter the facts. It doesn't matter the logic. It doesn't matter the history, the timeline, the truth. It just is like seething and coping. No, somehow the white people have to be bad and stupid and not good. Somehow we have to make it so the Browns were first, the Browns were better, when everything just points to the opposite. And it's not even that big of a deal. It's like, I don't know, the Spanish had a lot of good, cool, useful stuff. The indigenous people had a lot of cool, useful stuff. And then like the Anglo whites had a lot of cool, useful stuff. Like all these people kind of come together to eventually trial and error their way into what we have today, which is like the perfection that is like Texas cowboy culture, the awesome, godly, righteous thing that is like rodeo culture in America, that Americana culture. But it just has to become a racist thing. It has to become somehow white people are bad. But it's just funny. It's ironic that I was getting lectured and educated, and like I was like, whoa, that's a good point, from like a brown Mexican telling me that like white people are actually awesome and people need to stop hating on them so much and thank us more, you know? So, you know, hey, I don't need your thanks. I will accept the Gulf of America as a due compensation. You know, we don't need to take any more of your land. You can have Mexico. We'll let you have Mexico. We won't retake it from you. Don't worry, guys. We'll let you have it. We'll let you keep it. Don't worry. You know, it's all right. We'll just like pretend to let you guys have vaquero culture. Oh, cool. You were the first cowboys because you like spun ropes around and did little dances in colorful clothing. Cool. I'll let you have that. I'll let you have it. It's okay. That's fine. Now give us the Gulf of America back and be a little more grateful, you know, when you come into our country. That's all we ask. Obey our laws, you know, be a little more grateful, be a good person, do good, be good, love, and be loved, be useful and available in your community, be the light and love of Jesus Christ, and let's all just get along as brothers and sisters together, united in him. So racist ran over. Racist ran over. We'll move on. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom. Last thing I'll bring up, as we admire the cool, weird chicken rooster looking ducks that apparently live around here in New Orleans, Forgot to bring up, there was just a cool little poetic moment where I'm walking to a gas station in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So between me, my truck, and the store is like a little gaggle, a little grouping of birds. There's like a crow, a pigeon, a little like tiny little bird. There was like 4 different birds. I kid you not, one of each different type of bird. I have a picture of it. I'll like insert a picture on the YouTube, on the video broadcast of this right here to kind of show you what I'm talking about. I didn't get the best picture, but there was 4 different birds and they were all like trying to attack this little pack of scraps. You know, it was like a little like thing of crackers, you know, where it was like at this point it was just dust because it was like had been walked on and it's just trash. It's just on the ground. There's like a cracked open bag, crumbs of crackers spilling out, and these birds are frantically trying to like fight each other to get it. And as soon as one goes in to grab it, the other ones kind of like flap their wings or shout. And so they're all kind of almost playing defense on each other. It's like these 4 birds kind of keep trying to like pick up the scraps, try to get the trash, you know, and they're all kind of being unsuccessful at it. And one by one, and I stopped there. I'm in the middle of this gas station. I'm like in the middle of the, you know, not by the gas pump, not by like the actual like convenience store itself, just like in the middle of the parking lot, gazing upon, staring at this little gaggle, this little grouping of birds fighting over scraps, fighting over trash. Because it was like the most poetic, perfect example of America. It was like, this is America. Childish Gambino, this is America right here. It's different birds fighting over like the scraps. And then there's me standing over it, laughing and admiring and theorizing and talking about what's happening while I like take pictures, you know? I'm like standing there with my smartphone, like taking pictures as the peasants, as the goys just fight over what's left in America, the scraps that are left in America. The Jews are just sitting there like taking pictures and laughing about it. Dude. What up, Pelican? Just gracefully floating through the air like that. So this is gonna be my last attempt. I'm done. I'm out of it. This is like attempt 9 at recording this freaking episode. Maybe this is a sign that this is just not an episode that needs to be put out there, but maybe y'all just can't handle this. My phone, the wind just gust blew my tripod over. Come on, man. Can I catch a break? So since I can't catch a single break on planet Earth, I have to keep repeating myself, keep re-recording this. My phone falls down. The rain comes out of nowhere when it was supposed to be done, etc., etc. We're just going to start reading. I'm going to not get lost in the sauce here and ramble, and we're going to wrap this up because I am sick of recording this episode. Y'all should thank me for this. Y'all should thank America for not taking more of Mexico, and y'all should thank me for continuing to suffer through this and try to push through and make this episode happen. Because I do feel like it's useful. I do feel like it's helpful, because what we are going to talk about, the point of all of this and why we're talking about all of this is like, you, Western man, which way? You know the meme, which way, Western man? But like, you, for real, seriously, where are you going? What are you choosing? How are you choosing to live? What are you choosing to do with your life, you know? Thank you. If she had run past me right there, I'm not kidding, I would have walked up and hit. I would have walked up and stopped this right now, got in my truck and driven back to Nashville into the snowstorm. Like the penguin. I would have been the penguin and been like, screw this, I'm out. Got in my truck and just drove for the mountain. Drove into the heart of the snowstorm that's happening right now. Just say, you know what, there's a greater purpose beyond me and my stupid life here in this dumb place. But that is what we're talking about. This is Penguin Week, by the way, if you want to reference, where everyone freaked out this week about the penguin meme. And it's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Which way, Western man? Are you going to choose what's right, or are you going to choose the world? Are you going to choose yourself, or are you going to choose something greater, something beyond you, right? Are you going to walk into the destiny that God has for you? Or are you going to keep living in this like life you've made for yourself that's comfortable and safe and secure and known, right? Or will you take that leap of faith? Will you take that risk? Will you go in the direction that is not popular, not easy, not comfortable, but is in the direction of righteousness, is in the direction of God and his right ways? Or are you going to keep choosing the direction that leads to fun, sex, drugs, rock and roll, you know? And so I don't have my Bible. I'm not gonna subject my beautiful, it's my number one possession in my life is my Bible. I'm not gonna have it outside in the rain like this. I don't really like to have it outside in general, but I do. But knowing my luck recording this episode in this stream, I'd probably like trip with it in my hand and like drop it. Like, ooh, trip and stumble and just like it goes flying into the water and just slow motion hits the water and then motion just sinks like Jack in the Titanic. Knowing my luck, that would happen to me. So I don't have my physical Bible. To me, that's weird. I like to read the word physically in my hands when I read the word. I don't like it on my phone. I don't like it on paper written down, but we do have it on paper written down for today only. But if y'all want to get your Bibles and join with me, we're going to be in 1 John. If you don't really know your Bible too well, just go almost to the back of the book. Literally, it's like almost the back of the book. 1 John, 1 John, chapter 2, verse 15 through 17. We're going to read it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to skedaddle on out of here before more bad stuff happens, before I do trip and fall into this water. A rainstorm that was supposed to be gone 4 hours ago somehow keeps picking back up and hitting me in the face right now. Like, come on, man. Can I catch a break? What is this? What is this? Come on, man. So I kid you not, it again is raining. It was supposed to be done 3 hours ago. The weather report currently says it's like a 5% chance that it's not supposed to be happening, that it's just supposed to be cloudy for the rest of the day. It's still cold, it's still windy, and it's just raining again. Again and again. The wind is blowing my phone down. My files are getting deleted. I can't catch a single break on this episode, but we're going to keep doing it. We're not going to give up. We're not going to call it. Satan, you're not going to win. And we are going to hear the word of our Lord right now. So if you want to turn to 1 John 2, verses 15 through 17, then we'll talk about it. But hear and understand the word of your Lord. Do not love the world, nor the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lusts of the eyes and the boastful pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world. The world is passing away, and also its lusts, but the one who does the will of God lives forever. And sorry, I'm having a hard time reading because my notes, these notes, I rewrote them all. I end up writing a bunch of notes and I don't use half of them, so I don't know why I keep doing this, but I like literally already had to rewrite these notes like 3 times. And still just now, it got raindrops that smear the ink, so it's hard for me to read. So we're kind of just going to go off the dome for the rest of this. But the point here, hope you heard, hope you understood. But the point here of this passage, this scripture, this portion of God's word, but also everything we're talking about here today, is just the question that I think you need to ask yourself now and forever, like in a constant state of asking yourself this as you live your life. But where is your heart in all the nonsense around you? Where is your heart in this world, your environment, your social life, your work, everything that you do in your life, everything you know and have experienced and love and live in? Where is your heart during all of it? You know, is it focused on yourself? Is it focused on acquiring more things for yourself? Or is it focused on God? Is it focused on helping and serving what he loves, doing what he loves, helping and serving the people he loves? Or are you still chasing the lust of your eyes and the lust of your flesh? Are you still living? Is your heart still in the direction of worldly things? Or is your heart, Western man, in the heart of righteous things, in the direction of righteous things? It's a meme, it's a joke, haha, but it deep down, we are in a battle of good and evil. fact. It is serious, fact. And we need to be like taking it seriously and asking these hard questions, really evaluating our life, really questioning, where is my heart? It's easy for you one day to have your heart focused on righteous things, especially Sunday. You go to Sunday, you have an experience at church, you're around godly people. But what happens Monday when you wake up cranky and angry and your boss is giving you crap and you failed to meet some deadlines and you didn't get that promotion and you come home and your wife is mad at you and your kids are bothering you? Where's your heart? Yeah, it was good on Sunday, but now on Monday, is it good still? So we need to be in a constant state of asking, where is my heart right now? Where is my heart? Where is my heart? What is my heart being filled with? Worldly, unrighteous things or godly things, righteous things? Am I close to him or am I far away from him? Like, we need to be asking ourselves, which way, Western man? Which way, Christian man? Are you choosing God right now, in this moment, in this day, in what you're doing in this life? Or are you choosing yourself? Ask yourself that often and seriously. You know, all the chaos and craziness around us, the persecution, the injustices, the female nonsense, the Indians invading your state, you know, the Jews trying to stop you from recording your stream, blacks, browns, ICE, Indians, cults, Planet Fitness cults, China, supercomputers, AI, Satanists, gambling, porn, feminine men, Sabrina Carpenter, cancer, you know, just all the bad things in our world today. Just insert bad things that are hurting us in our world and our society and contributing to the crumbling of our culture, the destruction of the Americana life. All of the bad, all of the evil, all the gross, all the despicable, all of the ground that Satan has won out there with useful idiots or his demonic weapons or his instruments of chaos, whatever it may be. Yeah, Satan's winning out there. Yeah, this world sucks. It's chaotic, it's crazy, it's evil, it's unfair, etc., etc. But in all of that, through all of that, with all of that, in and around you in your life at all times, where is your heart? Because all of that stuff doesn't affect your heart. All of that stuff doesn't move your heart in any direction it doesn't want to go. Satan can tempt you with whatever he wants to tempt you with, and it will be tempting. He knows you, and he has like an ancient knowledge, an ancient power level, an ancient skill set. He's led billions astray from God. He will do the same to you. If you let him, if your heart chooses to fall victim to him, if your heart chooses the world and worldly things and gives way to the lusts, the lustful desires of your flesh and your eyes, yeah, your heart will be with Satan in the world. But despite all that, despite his temptations, his minions, his demons out there trying to influence and affect you, just useful idiots out there, worldly people who don't get it yet, who aren't saved, will lead you astray. The world, the environment will lead you astray. Yourself, your flesh, your urges will lead you astray. It will want to pull you into the direction of the world and worldly things. However, you still have the ability to control where your heart goes, what your heart longs for, what direction your heart is headed in, despite the whatever's happening around you. Your heart can still choose righteousness. Your heart can still choose spiritual reunion with God. Your heart can say, I want to be good, true, and beautiful. Your heart can say, I want to be good. I want to experience good, true, and beautiful things. I want to do good for God in this world. And I want to live for God in this world. And I want to be with him in eternity. And I want access to him. Despite the mess, despite the letdowns, despite the heartbreaks, despite all the bad things I can list off and rattle off right now that happened to me and to you here and now in this place in this world. But at the end of the day, the gospel is we have access to God. Your heart has the ability to choose God, despite your flaws, despite your mistakes, your imperfections, despite the temptations around you, despite the lusts of your flesh and of your eyes. If the heart chooses God, you will have God. And if your heart chooses God, you will produce fruit, even accidentally. Again, inevitably. You will be good and do good things. when you choose God. But if your heart chooses what's easy, what's comfortable, what's safe, what's known, what looks appealing, what feels good temporarily, if your heart is choosing sex, drugs, and rock and roll and the things of this world, you want power and control over people, you want pleasure and comforts, you want to avoid death and persecution and pain at all costs, go ahead. And like the fool in the Bible, choose the world. Go ahead. Have fun. Choose separation from God and go live in the world. And I hope it's great to you. Hope it's great. Hope it's worth it. Because you also, and every one of us has the ability to have that access, that open door to God, our Father, our Creator, through His Son, Christ Jesus, and what He did for us on the cross. We have the ability in our hearts to choose righteousness and to be spiritually reunited with God through what Jesus did for us. Or your heart can give way to the world. Your heart can give way to the lusts and the passions of your body. You know, you can listen to the demonic whispers. You can listen to your brain think that you're so smart and you got everything figured out, and you can lead yourself off into that direction all you want. But that's the fork in the road. That's the question. That's the meme. Which way, Western man? This road or that road? What are you going to choose? You know? And far too much of us, far too many American Christian men are choosing the road that leads to destruction, are choosing the road of gambling and hooking up with chicks and doing drugs, popping pills, drinking every night, you know, watching sports, fighting with beating each other up, being all angry and, you know, destructive and unproductive, sit around playing video games, sit around doing nothing, you know. Not that video games are nothing, but I'm just saying, like, choosing to do stupid things, worldly things, because it feels good. It suits your interests. It makes you feel like you're in control. It makes you feel like you have a purpose and meaning. It makes you feel. And you chase those feelings all the way to hell. When you know deep down that you could be doing the thing that's not popular, it's not fun, it's not easy, it's not comfortable, it might bring a little bit of persecution, some injustice, some problems, some roadblocks in your life. But eternally, it will pay off. But eternally, you will find righteousness. But eternally, you will go back home where you belong, with God, your Creator, in His house forever. And far too many of us are being too short-sighted, too selfish, living too in the moment, and just saying, I want now. I'll figure it out later. I want to gamble now. I want to drink now. I want to have sex now. I want to do all of the things the world is offering to me now. I want the power. I want the status. I want the stuff. Maybe later I'll choose God. Maybe, you know. You know, when the world fixes itself, when things are figured out, when everyone else gets together and pulls up their sleeves and gets to work fixing this place up, then, you know, when times are good, when we're all on top of the mountain peak, then I'll turn back and look to God and say, thank you, you know? But only then, only in the right conditions, only when I feel like it's time. Do you reach for what's good, what you know to be moral, what you know to be good, true, and beautiful, or do you reach for what your lustful eyes want you to reach for? Are you like the gum jabbar, like in the Dune book or the Dune movies? You know, he puts his hand in that box and it's pain. It's like the worst pain imaginable, and it's a test. It's do you like an animal feel that pain and just instinctually pull your hand out to avoid that pain? Or do you suffer the consequences because you know, if I pull my hand out, they will kill me. If I pull my hand out, I will lose my birthright and not become king. If I pull my hand out, I will be just like an animal who goes, ow, and instinctually pulls out because I don't want the pain. Or do you rise above? Do you be the penguin who goes to the mountain? Are you the lion who doesn't concern himself with the opinions of sheep? Are you the crusher? Are you the legend? Are you the man made in the image of God and not some stupid instinctual animal, but like a rational, unique, independent human being with a soul and a purpose on his life, who does the hard thing, who does the painful thing, who sacrifices because they know the end result will pay off? If I keep my hand in this box, yeah, it's painful. Yeah, it sucks. Everything inside of me, my body, my flesh is telling me, just take your hand out. Stop the pain, end the torture. But in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, you know, well, there's something greater waiting for me beyond this pain, beyond this moment, beyond this experience that I don't like, that hurts, that scars me, that makes me uncomfortable, it makes me not feel safe. There's something greater and beyond this moment waiting for me if I just keep my hand in the box. Or like an animal, you can just pull your hand out and suffer the consequences. God will let you, okay, yeah, Nebuchadnezzar, you can go crawl on your belly and act like an animal. You want to not choose me? I keep giving you every chance. I keep sending you dreams and prophets to interpret those dreams. I keep saying, son, I'm here for you. And Nebuchadnezzar says, no, I want to be king. I want to live well. I want to be powerful. I want to be in control. I want now. I don't want to suffer any kind of pain or be humble or do anything bad, quote unquote, now for me in my life. I'm the king. I want to live high. I want to live well. I want to be powerful. And God makes him suffer the consequences of living like the animal he is, out in the fields, eating bugs, crawling on his belly. Okay, you want to act like an animal? Go be an animal without me, without my right ways. He'll let you. And he'll also be there waiting when you're done, when you're ready to return, when you're ready to repent, when you're ready to admit, I was wrong, I did wrong, I was wrong, I believed wrong, I acted wrong, I was wrong. I chose for myself, I sought for my own lustful desires. I chose the world, I lived for the world. As long as that is a past tense and you have repented, you are turning away from that, you are saying, that is who I was, that is what I did, that might be me in this moment right now. But going forward, I will repent. I will turn away from that and I will instead choose righteousness. And it's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be unpopular. It's going to be difficult and painful. You're going to get persecuted. You're not going to be liked. The world will reject you. But are you willing to suffer the pain, suffer the consequences of that rejection, and accept what good things, what good, true, and beautiful, eternal things, the eternal treasures that God has ready and waiting for you when you choose him? He'll be there. He's offering it to us all. He's offering it to you. He's offering it to me. It's there. It's on the table. But are you going to continue to deny that? Are you going to continue to reject that? Are you going to continue to ignore that and go choose for yourself and live for this world? Or, Christian man, Western man, is it time to make the other choice? Is it time to repent and turn away and go in the other direction, the righteous direction, instead of the worldly direction? Is it time for you? And where is your heart? Is your heart going to the world, or is your heart going to him? And even if you've spent a life of your heart going to the world and loving the world and indulging in the world and choosing the world, and even in this moment, you might just be like, yeah, next Friday I'm still going to go back to that club and choose the world again. At some point, just know your heart has the ability to say, despite that, despite my environment, despite the people in my life, despite what I did in the past, what I'm doing right now, I can still take my heart in that direction instead. I can choose to turn away from the world, turn away from the nonsense, and go instead towards eternal things, towards righteousness, towards God and his right ways, towards the loving embrace of him and a spiritual reunion with him. Every one of us have that choice. So which way, Western man? Which way will your heart choose? Which fork in the road will you choose? The world or eternal things? Where is your heart? And where is your heart going? Do you reach for what's exciting? Do you reach for what's lustful to your eyes? Do you reach for the world, right? Do you reach for what feels good? Do you pull your hand out of the box when it feels pain, when it feels bad, And what can you really boast about if that is what you live for, if that is what you do? What is there to really be feel accomplished about? What is something great in your life that's worth bragging about? If you're not living for something beyond yourself, okay, you've had sex a bunch, okay, you've done a bunch of drugs, okay, you've spent a bunch of money on flippant nonsense, okay, and you're going to brag about all the things you've enjoyed in this world when you could be boasting eternally in victory, You're over here bragging about your pleasures and your control you have over other people, here and now in this life. But what happens after? When you die, what happens after? When you've chosen the world, you've lived for the world, you've boasted in your life in this world and how great it was and how awesome it was. What about when you die? What happens after? What do you get? What do you experience? What do you receive after? And is it something you're going to boast about? Is it something you're going to boast in? You feel like you're going to be real boastful after you've lived a boastful life here and now in this place? After you die? After all the years of choosing to live hedonistically and selfishly and recklessly and, rebelliously, after all those years of choosing the world, what happens? You think you're going to get some grand, awesome reward for the not sacrifice you made? You think you're going to get rewarded for pulling your hand out of that box? Or do you think the reward comes for enduring? Do you think the reward, the eternal, awesome, great reward from God, your creator, comes from actually rejecting the world and keeping your hand in the box? Rejecting the pleasure and pushing into the pain, pushing into the battle, the struggle, overcoming the consequences, the defeats, the mistakes. What happens after? You choose a life for yourself. You think you're going to be rewarded by God after? Or you choose a life for God? I'm going to assume logically that that's going to be the one that's going to bring you an eternal reward. What do you expect to happen? You're going to do all the things that God hates, reject him, deny him, and just love what he hates, and then expect after you die to just be welcomed into his house? You expect him to just hand you the remote and say, come on, put your dirty feet up on my couch, change the channel, do whatever you want in my house. You're the king now. I'm going to assume you're not even going to be allowed access into the house. I'm going to assume, unlike a Texan, they're not going to let you in the house. They're going to say, sorry, you chose the world. You wanted to live out there. You wanted to live for yourself out there. Have fun out there. Have fun. Hope it was worth it. Hope it was all worth it. Hope you had all the fun in the world, because now you're not going to be welcome into my house. Now you're not going to have fun. Now you're not going to experience the eternal treasures that are waiting for the people who did say no, who did do the unpopular thing, the uneasy thing, the difficult thing, who sacrificed, who shed their blood, their tears, their sweat to make something bigger and better and greater than themselves, to leave something for the children that come after them, to leave this world, this place, and the people in it better than when they found it. I'm going to guess those are the people that will be rewarded in eternity. And I don't really even have to guess. It's in his word. This isn't like my opinion. Hey, Sean's goofy, or I don't really agree with Sean. It's like, well, it's his word, not mine, It's him. I'm repeating him. I'm explaining him to you to hopefully have it make sense. But, you rejected him. You rejected his righteousness. You rejected his will for your life. So what does eternity look like for you, for a person like that? What does it feel like? What is the meaning of it? You think people are going to remember your name? You think there's going to be any kind of eternal meaning behind your life and what happened when you just live for yourself here and now in this place? We are in a cosmic, eternal, serious battle of good versus evil. Both exist. Both God and his enemies exist. They are at odds. They are not to be taken lightly, either of those sides. And, God does love the world. God so loved the world that he sent his son. He loved us. He loved his creation. He loves us and his creation so much that he sent his son to die so that we may have access to him. He gives us chance after chance after chance, and that is what a loving father does. We are in a serious battle. It is good versus evil. There is no compromise. There is no lukewarmness being afforded here. There is no straddling the fences. You can't have a little bit of what God hates and then go do a lot of what God loves. Like, he will spit you out. That is what will be spit out. And you can't serve two masters. You have to serve the master. You have a choice, Western man. Which way? The world, the way that leads to the world and its pleasures and comforts, or the way that leads to him. And you can't serve both masters. You can't choose both routes. You can't go in the direction of both routes at the same time. It is a battle. It is a choice of what is good versus what is evil, right? His righteousness versus worldly evils. With Christ versus away from Christ. And we'll get into more of that next episode. We have more problems recording the stream. We're just going to end it. We're going to be done. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with me. We're just going to be done. No more distractions, no more confusion, no more hiccups. We will pick back up on the next episode. I have a lot more stuff I want to talk about that I didn't get to here, written down, but also a lot more that I want to talk about too. So we'll just pick back up on another episode. Maybe we'll get more favorable conditions on a future attempt at recording an episode, So stay tuned for that. But in summary, in general, I guess just the bigger question is, where is your heart and which way, Christian man? Heavenly things? Are you going in the direction of heavenly things? Or are you going in the direction of worldly things? Are you heavenward or are you worldward? Where are you going to go? You can't serve two masters. You can't go in the direction of both. You have to choose one or the other. God and his right ways, his righteousness, or the world, or a rejection of him and his right ways, and instead living for and going in the direction of the world. Is your heart in love with worldly things, or is your heart in love with God, your creator, your sustainer, and the one you're going to spend eternity with? So which way, Western man? Which way, Western man? Final practical advice, and we'll wrap it up. We'll call it quits. Final little bullet points here, practical advice. Know him, know his word. Pursue him, pursue righteousness, and focus on the eternal mission. Practical steps. Be in the word, be in the Bible. Have your heart so full with his word, his people, his light, and his love that you can't do anything but choose the direction that leads to him, right? Know him, know his word. He's speaking to you right now. It is in his word. I don't have my Bible to point to, but it's there. It's present. It's available to you. Know him. He's there. He's speaking to you. Hear and understand it. Have eyes to see, have ears to hear. Know him. Know his word well. Put it in your heart and pursue him. Go. It's go time. It's righteousness time. It is righteousness time. It is the path that goes to him time. It is time. We are walking. There was a fork in the road, and it is time that we choose to head in the direction of him, away from what we want, right? And focus on your eternal mission. The purpose for your life that is beyond this place and this time and this body and this flesh and these people around you and this environment you live in. There is a purpose that is so much greater and beyond the scope of your life. And you are one part of the grand, giant plan, the great grand mission that's taking out, the story that's being written and told cosmically, eternally, forever, for everyone. You are a piece of that puzzle, and you need to start acting like it. You need to start participating in the construction of the puzzle. And you need to focus on that. Not your selfish temporary comforts, not what I'm going to get into this weekend. Oh, I want to eat good food right now. It's like, we need to start worrying about what comes next, what is beyond us. We need to start being the penguin that denies the stupidity of this world and goes instead to the mountain. Says, I will surrender my life. I will sacrifice my life. There's something out there waiting for me that's greater and beyond myself, beyond my pleasures, beyond my comforts, beyond me. I am going to go walk to the mountain. I will go reach the mountain because it's out there. It's my eternal mission. It's my destiny, and I will walk into it like a penguin. I will walk into my destiny. So pursue it, live it fully. Know him, know his word, pursue him, pursue righteousness, and focus on eternal things, heavenly treasures, and your eternal mission. So that's my call. That's my plea with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you don't hate me. Thank you for sticking tuned. I am very frustrated, but I wouldn't say I'm frustrated, but I'm annoyed and relieved that this is now over. We're done. We're going to chop and screw and edit this as best we can. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for sticking tuned. Sorry for all the distractions. I think he's filming a rap video behind me, blasting music. So great. But whatever. We love him anyways. We forgive him. All of the people, all the distractions, all of the natural elements trying to hinder me and stop this stream from happening. I love you. I forgive you. Jesus loves you. So do I. If you're good enough for Jesus, you're good enough for me. Because I am a man who is choosing righteousness. I am a man who is pursuing him. My heart is in the direction of him and his right ways. And I might fall short. I might make mistakes along the way. I might slip up. But at the end of the day, my heart still goes into that direction. I might get off the trail a little bit. I might get distracted. I might have to stop and rest. You know, there might be a lot of things that might stop me and hinder my path or my journey. But overall, my heart, my journey, my direction is towards him. I am not serving two masters. It is in the direction of him and his righteousness and his eternity, his eternal purpose for my life and for my soul, you know? So we'll stop repeating ourselves. I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next episode. Stay tuned. Bunch of content coming out. Recorded a bunch of stuff. I just need to edit it and publish it. So thank you guys. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Take care.